4 of our podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Mandela Effect, which I know has been a little bit overdone on YouTube, but I'm finally getting around to it, so we're going to talk about it anyway. I've got Jer and I don't even know your name.
Mike.
I've got Jer and Mike. I just met these two guys on the street. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're going to be talking about the Mandela Effect with me. They haven't really heard too much about it, but they have heard a little bit, and
I barely know anything.
You guys are fascinated like me, I hope.
Oh,
so
definitely.
yeah. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little backstory about the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect started, I think, around 2013. So in 2013, Nelson Mandela died. That's where the Mandela Effect theory comes from. And everybody watching it, or a lot of people watching it, were like, wait a second. He died in 1980 in prison. He never got out, and what are they saying? He died now in 2013. But he did. And so everybody's freaking out, and then they started finding more and more Mandela Effect things where it's just misremembering. A really big one that I told you guys about was the Berenstein bears. So everybody remembers it as Berenstein bears, but it's really Berenstain bears. So it was never Steen, it was never S-T-E-I-N, it was S-T-A-I-N. So a lot of people even went up to the authors of the books and were like, okay, which one is it? And they're like, well, it's our last name, so we would know it's S-T-A-I-N. So you guys don't remember it being Stain, do you? Berenstain?
No, I remember Stein.
Right?
Vividly. The cover and everything.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I definitely remember it too.
I feel like it doesn't make sense to be Berenstain.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest ones. That one's got people going into their attics and pulling out their books too. And there's videos on YouTube where people are doing that and they're like, this isn't right. This is crazy. It's changed. So, it sort of brings us into theories. So people have a lot of theories what they think that is causing this whole collective misremembering thing. Anywhere from alternate realities to debunking it and saying that really it is just collective misremembering of specific events and facts and things like that. As a whole, we all just misremember things. You can't really rely on your memory that much. That's what scientists and stuff are saying, which I don't trust because science and scientists can be stupid sometimes. So
Very true.
So yeah, but anyway, another one that is sort of my theory, and some people sort of touch on it. I think it has something to do with what they're doing over in Cern in Switzerland. Do you know about that?
No.
Okay, so guys, this is going to be a long podcast. So in Switzerland, in Geneva, they've got Cern, which is this facility where they built the largest hadron collider. So it's a collider that collides atoms together and, whatever. And I have little brief descriptions of what that means and everything because I'm not a scientist either. So basically they built this huge collider underground in Geneva at this facility called Cern in Switzerland. They say that they did it because they're just trying to, let me see what they wrote here. I wrote it down here somewhere. Okay, so they're looking for something called a Higgs boson. I don't know if I said that wrong. It's a theoretical particle smaller than an atom, which scientists believe is about to be spotted, but to detect it requires the world's largest particle accelerator, the Large Hadron Collider. So they're saying that they're doing all this and putting all these millions and billions of dollars into this thing. And by the way, the collider is 18 miles long underground. It's insane. They're saying they're doing it to look for this one Higgs boson particle or whatever that is. Basically though, they don't really go into detail why they're really looking for it or anything, so that's where all the theories come in. So let me just give you my little snippets here. The Large Hadron Collider is an 18-mile long ring containing powerful magnets lying beneath the French-Swiss border at the Cern laboratory in Geneva. Through it, subatomic particles are fired in opposite directions with the help of magnets so that they smash into each other at a rate approaching the speed of light. Detectors linked in the accelerator monitor the collisions and search the debris for signs of the Higgs boson, or whatever it's called, which is thought to give particles mass. Finding the Higgs would help explain why particles have a particular mass and greatly further our understanding of how the universe is put together. So that's the reason they're giving us, why they're doing all this. But another thing that, is sort of a theory with them, Einstein's general theory of relativity tells us that space cannot expand, contract, can expand, contract, and bend. Now, if one dimension were to contract to a smaller than an atom, it would be hidden from our view because atoms are like the smallest thing so far that we can see. But if we could look on a small enough scale, that hidden dimension might become visible again. So the Higgs thing is supposedly on another dimension. It's so small it's not on our dimension, we can't see it, but that's what they're trying to find. So that's where it comes in, where they're really just playing with dimensions and like trying to open up portals and things like that. So it's way more sinister than they're letting on for it to be, if that makes sense. So somebody said, how could we test for extra dimensions? One option would be to find evidence of particles that can exist only if extra dimensions are real, which is exactly what Cern is doing. So if they find this thing, it will prove that there are other dimensions, which to me is just mind-boggling. That there could be a whole different dimension, like going on right in front of us right now. Like that just blows my mind. So back to the Mandela Effect. The people at Cern started operating this large collider thing in September of 2008. The Mandela Effect started being noticed in 2013. Which is not that far off. It's 5 years from when they actually started. So who's to say that they didn't, smash these particles together and actually break into another dimension, having it like bleed into ours, and so there could be an infinite amount of dimensions, and so like we could be sitting here doing this right now in a different dimension, except a few things would be different. Like I have blonde hair, or you have no beard, or like just weird things. Like it could just be infinite things.
That is really weird.
So, my theory is that like CERN is involved and things are just starting to bleed through. So like in one dimension it was Berenstein. That's valid, it was. But then in our dimension it was Berenstein. But now some people are getting mixed, and like you can go even crazier and say that, people are being transferred between dimensions.
Oh, definitely.
So like, what was it that you remembered? That there was something that you...
Looney Tunes.
Okay, so you remembered Looney Tunes spelled T-U-N-E-S.
Yeah.
And Jer remembers it T-O-O-N-S.
Yeah.
So you could very well be from a different dimension. And then the person who should be sitting here with us is like there right now being like, no, it was T-O-O-N-S, So, so it's really, really mind-boggling. So there's like literally hundreds and hundreds of examples, and like every day more and more keep getting found and like brought to attention of people. So I've got a huge list we can go through.
Awesome. Perfect.
Okay, so we touched on the Berenstein and Berenstein. Let me see where I've got that other one. Have you ever seen Forrest Gump?
Most of it.
Okay, and do you know the line? It's like a famous line where he says, life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
He says life was like a box of chocolates. He never says life is like a box of chocolates. And everybody, there's like, memes and people quoting it and everything, and then everybody's been quoting it wrong because it's life was like a box of chocolates. It doesn't even roll off your tongue, so it's like...
It's just, everything sounds so weird when you actually say it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And some people will even interview the actors who played certain roles and stuff, and the actors will quote it and say it the way we all remember it. So how could the person who did it and acted it not remember the right way?
Weird.
So that really makes, raises some questions. Snow White, as a kid, did you guys ever watch that?
I do remember, yeah.
Do you know how they say mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest? She never says that at all in the movie. She says, magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And it's crazy because you'll go and play back even VHSs of it from your childhood, and you're like, where is it? And it's not in there. It's magic mirror on the wall.
It's crazy.
And then I told you guys about the Star Wars one. He never says, Luke, I am your father. He says, no, I am your father, which is so weird. There's t-shirts that say that, like, so how could everybody remember it wrong? And then they asked, I forget the guy's name who played Darth Vader or whatever, but they had him say it, and he said, Luke, I am your father. Like, he said it.
Yeah.
He played the role, and he said it. So it's like, how could that be, So that's another one. Let's see. You know, the Kennedy assassination, that one fascinates me. Like, have you guys seen pictures of it, I'm sure, or like even a video?
Mm-hmm.
His car, like, nobody remembers it, and I don't remember ever having it. It seats 6 people, and there's 6 people in the car.
I remember 2, 4.
Yeah, 4. The 2 in the front,
Yeah.
right? And then Jackie and Kennedy in the back. But that's not it. Let's see if there's a picture of it here.
On top of like the already like crazy like conspiracy theories about the JFK assassination.
Yeah, like, this just adds to it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Okay, so JFK.
I actually heard something earlier on the radio. It was, I don't remember what the guy's name was, but it was like, they said that he killed JFK. Like, that the government put him under, like, a spell, or, like, they hypnotized him, to kill him. And he says that he doesn't remember killing him, but he remembers being there. And it was like, it said all these people hypnotized him, and it said that he was one of the easiest people to hypnotize
That's crazy.
they've ever done. And it said that, like, he was there, but Jack Ruby killed him, or was it Jack Ruby? No, Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah, it was like Shabazz or something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was.
That reminds me of what I talked about on my first podcast, which was MK Ultra. Do you know what that is? Guys, you need to watch my podcast. Okay, so MK Ultra was one of my conspiracy theories for my first podcast.
Cool.
But it's not a conspiracy theory. It actually was a true thing. So in like the 50s to the 70s, I don't remember the exact timeline, but the CIA was literally like giving LSD and other mind control drugs and doing experiments with it on random people. They did it on like children, they did it on prostitutes, people who do drugs, like, and then just random people who I assume they would kidnap.
Okay.
And everybody had a conspiracy theory that they were doing this, but it was just a conspiracy theory. And you know, people think we're all crazy for having them, but guess what? The government investigated the CIA, and proved that they were doing this, and it was called the MK Ultra project.
Yeah.
And like they literally had to do like an apology and everything for it, so it's not even like a secret anymore. But I think it's still going on. I don't think they stopped.
Oh, it's gotta still
Like,
be
and
going
I think
on.
they're even better at it now, and like
Yeah.
that could easily be a successful trial that they had, you know? So, back to Kennedy. Here's a picture of the car. Like, 1, 2, the drivers, these 2 randoms in the middle, and then them in the back. Like, what car is that?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
What is that thing for? Like, is that the convertible
It
top? I guess
splits it off.
I guess, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've never seen a car like that, but like, people don't remember it like that.
Yeah.
You know? There's a theory, too, that she killed him. Like, that Jackie did it. And they talk about that, like, I'll show you here. So they think that Jackie had a gun and that she shot him, like, through here, and it, like, came out here. And in this video, like, I was like, that's BS, there's no way. And then I watched this video and I was like,
Maybe.
Let me show you guys.
Kit Kat sponsors the Mandela Effect.
Yeah, I guess
There's
so.
extra people in the car. Not sure what's going on there. Just
Let's fast forward.
there. As it goes forward here, the fella in the middle there is looking round. I don't really shot him through the throat. Looks like the driver now.
And he was shot in the throat first, and he leans forward, and then his head explodes.
So he was shot twice?
Mm-hmm.
I only remember him being shot once.
Because you're from the other timeline.
Yeah, holy shit. Like, talk about full circle here.
She's going to pull him forwards now.
Okay, just wait for it.
She's going to put a gun under his chin and shoot him through the top of his head. You'll see the bullet come out the top of his head. Yeah, that's right, his wife shoots him through the fucking head. Right, wow.
Shit.
Stop them there. You see the bullet go straight over.
He'll show it again, too, because at first I was like, no, but then watch. There's actual smoke and everything.
It's a weird angle for her to be at. Like, why else would you be at that
See,
angle?
it like goes up, and then there's
Still
smoke.
shot there.
He'll show it again.
You see the smoke trails from the bullet going up there. Unbelievable.
That blows my mind.
Yeah,
this one-
seriously.
I never thought it was her, and then they say she put the gun down like between the
Put her
seat or
arms in back of
something,
him and shove him down
and then she jumps out.
just to finish him off, make sure he's down. and then scrambles out of the car.
She looked very calm after, too.
Up until that point.
Yeah.
But like right after, you know, you'd be like,
Yeah, exactly. Especially after the first one.
I think that's fascinating.
That's completely changed from my reality.
It's definitely very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you think about it, everyone is so focused on the president at that time. No one's really watching her as much as
Yeah.
him. So.
And especially back then, I don't think anyone would suspect a woman, you know,
No,
like...
totally not. Like, what, that was 63, 64?
I don't know the
I'm
year.
bad.
Yeah, I'm bad
history.
with 63, we're
Okay.
good, yeah.
It's actually the band The Misfits. They have a shirt
Yeah.
that has him on it. Yeah, and on the shirt,
That's-
it's him holding it under his chin, and like the blood's coming up out of the top.
Because,
that.
like, the angles were just off from what the cops were saying, you know? Like, it just couldn't have been the way they explained it. So, let's keep going. We did the Looney Tunes one. What about Fruit Loops? Do you guys remember it? I don't remember.
I remember FRUIT.
Same.
Let's see
yeah.
what it really is
Yeah.
now, because I can't remember. It's, oh, the current one is FROOT, Loops.
What?
So this is how we remember it. I gotta look at that up.
Yeah, right? Like,
It can't be.
I
It's
like-
never been like that.
we both worked in a grocery store.
Yeah.
We've seen like thousands of boxes of
Exactly.
Fruit Loops. Like,
We should like do a sidetrack and go to
What
Joel
the
right
hell?
now.
Yeah.
Just to prove
this is
it.
going mobile.
Yeah, I guess.
That's weird. That's so weird.
I always
So what do you
remember.
I don't remember.
Oh.
I feel like I used to remember it a
Yeah.
certain way, and then like my memories are like blending now. I don't know which one is right.
Fruit Loops bloopers, eh?
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. The Jif peanut butter one. How do you guys remember the Flintstones? I sure as hell don't remember the Flintstones,
No.
but that's how they spell it.
Do you remember the Flintstones? I mean, I don't really much.
He
remember
is on the
Flintstones.
wrong
Yeah,
timeline.
seriously.
Get out of
Yeah.
here. Oh my god.
Explains so much.
Yeah,
You're
really.
just proving it now.
I think I cracked this whole like Mandela Effect and why people remember and some don't. This guy.
He is.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, it's Flintstones with a T.
Flintstone.
Flint
It's Fred Flintstone.
Stones.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Fred Flintstone.
Damn you, Mandela.
I know! Things are ruining our life. Thanks, Cern.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Cern. Oh my god, I could do a whole podcast on them. They are so like they have like satanic like ritual type things that they do. Like they did this opening next to Cern of like this railway or something, this train tunnel or something. And they did like, it was an hour or 2 hour long like grand ceremony opening thing of it. There was like this like goat man and he impregnated
Very
this
creepy.
woman in a red dress and
Gets
she's
worse.
dancing around and there's all these creatures and they're like dancing around. Like it's very
In
it's very
2008?
occult. No, that was more recent. That was like
Shit.
pretty recent. I'll show you.
Stay tuned for episode
Yeah,
5.
I'll show you guys after our podcast. I'll show you the video of
And
that.
this was like just completely on accident by them, right? Like with the whole Mandela thing, like they just weren't even trying, or
I mean, I don't think they intended to like mess up all of our timelines, but I think that they do have possible sinister, you know,
Yeah, they
reasons
wanna-
for what they're doing,
they
you
now
know.
they know what they're kind of doing. They're like, how can we manipulate this? For
Yeah,
our
and some people say that
benefit?
if they can crack that, they can crack time travel. And like, you
course.
know, people, scientists really want to do the whole time travel thing. So
Oh.
like, this could just be a gateway to that.
Mm.
So, okay, do you guys remember, you know who Sinbad is?
Kinda.
Was
The
he like a
comedian?
rapper in the 80s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's all that. Okay, he did everything. I remember him. Michaela remembers him, and a ton of people in the world remember him being in a genie movie where
Yeah.
he played a genie.
Yeah.
He never was ever in a genie movie. We all remember it. It was called Shazam.
That was Shaq with that though.
No, he was in a different genie
Really?
movie. He's from the other timeline.
Holy shit.
Like I can't even
I
right
could've
now.
sworn
I
Shaq
can't
was-
even move
I
it
can
right
picture
now.
him. He's got the stupid hat
Right?
on, and the dumb shoes, and the big pants.
Yeah, and he even, like, Sinbad, like, got pissed off because so many people were asking him about it. He's like, I was never a genie! Like, I was never a genie. And so people say that, like, oh, you're just getting him confused with Shaq. And when Shaq played a genie in some movie, I'm like, no. Me
Shaq's
and
7 feet tall.
a ton of other people remember
Yeah.
Sinbad in genie clothes doing a genie movie. And Shazam. And
Yeah.
Shazam doesn't exist.
Wait, the movie? Wait, so
The movie Shazam doesn't exist. So
They're
let's
just like-
find. Okay, hold on.
There's no way.
This is just like
What was the guy's name that you said?
Shaq.
Shaq.
Yeah. I could also like Jeremy. So you never remember a movie like Shaq
Kazam.
is a genie? Oh,
I-
okay.
So Shaq is a genie in Kazam.
Okay.
Kazam, yeah, but there
But
is
I remember Shazam,
Yeah.
and that doesn't exist.
I still remember being a child walking around in Walmart and being like, oh, that movie really sucked.
Don't pretend you didn't love it and beg for it. You got a copy of it somewhere, or you did.
I have VHS.
Let me see. So like they even made like spoofs of it. Like that's really what I remember though.
Yeah.
And that just didn't exist. And like he actually recently did a spoof of it, like a scene that's on YouTube from it or whatever. But like he's like old as hell because he just filmed it, you know, to like
Yeah.
just sort of play along with the theory. But yeah, that never existed. Mind blown.
I have to call my mom on this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get her in.
She should be
The fourth
here.
person.
Tell her to come over. I don't know. Do you know C-3PO? I don't know anything about that.
He does not have a silver leg.
Yeah, I didn't think it was so like.
Get the fuck out of here. There's no way.
So everyone remembers he didn't have a silver leg, but he does have one silver leg from the knee down. C-3PO.
I mean, I guess I've never looked at his leg.
Yeah,
but
right.
I've seen him in, what, there's like 8 movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been all gold.
Right? Like,
Nope. Look
I
at
feel like
it.
I need to like go back and like watch those now. And be
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He probably remembers it with the silver leg. You're just
Yeah,
trying to
like that,
play
yeah,
along.
this is- yeah.
Now
He's
you
like,
know, yeah.
I am not an imposter.
Yeah,
I'm not
totally,
an
I know we're supposed to be
alien.
here.
Don't
you know?
blow your cover.
Yeah, the government's gonna really be mad at you.
Your dad's always saying I'm shady and shiesty, so.
Dad
Jimmy-
is
maybe
right.
Jimmy's
He's
right.
right.
Okay, let's see what else they've got on the list.
Kit Kat? Or like
Which one?
Kit Kat?
Oh yeah, that's why that was on that other video, because so people remember it having a dash, but there's no dash in Kit Kat. You know, a Kit Kat bar?
It's a weird logo, too.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. It looks like.
I'm gonna Google it.
Is that a Mandela Effect with the logo? That's crazy.
Oh, there's a lot like that
Yeah.
with logos and stuff. Yeah.
That's how I was reading.
Yeah, same.
I mean, maybe,
know.
but either way, people remember it as having a dash,
Yeah.
but it doesn't, and it never has. See, maybe this is the new logo or the old logo, but like, yeah, I remember it like this. But either way, there's no dash.
No Sinbad.
I feel like now my mind's like
Okay.
playing tricks on me. Like, did you actually remember it like that? Or
I
like,
told you
right?
it does
Like,
that. It
it's
like you'll start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
There was something else I saw that I wanted to touch on. Oh, Curious George. He doesn't have a tail. He never had a tail. And I remember him having a tail. Curious George. Never had a tail. Here, let me pull up pictures of him.
It's kind of like messed up then, because like what happened to his tail?
He never had one.
The
But
curious
like why?
case of
Like monkeys are
George.
supposed to have tails. Like what's the story behind that then? Is that like ever explained?
I don't know.
There it is.
So that's how everyone remembers it. But that's what he's like.
Creepy.
Look at this. He just looks like a little boy in like a brown
Yeah,
suit.
right.
Like, doesn't even look like a monkey anymore.
Was he ever a monkey? That's the real question.
Right?
Apparently not.
Does like the guy just like make a boy dress up in a monkey suit? And,
I feel
it's
like
a
this-
really dark like story.
I'm taking this a very dark way.
Yeah.
I'm not racist. But I feel like whoever wrote this book may have racial tendencies, and that this is his adopted little African American boy.
That makes sense.
I might cut this out. I don't know. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just thinking maybe this book was written a long time ago.
Let's
He's
be
a
honest.
monkey. He
Yeah.
looks like a little boy. He doesn't have a tail.
Totally.
So maybe it's like a hidden racial
I mean,
thing.
like
Look
you
at his
said, come-
hat,
yeah,
too.
like come on, one
His
of
hat
those
is
ripped,
huge.
Like,
Wait, where?
It's
His dad's?
No,
yeah, it's the
yeah.
man in the yellow hat right here.
Come on.
like the guy like in the jungle going safari. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck
found
that.
him in the jungle.
I mean, come on, this was like
Oh my
what?
god, this is getting really dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Like, not even making fun, like, swear to God I'm not racist, but I feel like whoever wrote this book might be.
Probably
Yeah,
everyone was
definitely.
racist back then.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
When was this written?
It had to be
Like 80 years ago. I don't know.
at least like 50.
Yeah.
60.
I feel like my parents talked about it when they were.
1940.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
so
is that it?
almost 80? You were right. Almost 80 years ago.
Okay, so the people who wrote it fled Paris in June 1940 on a self-made bicycle carrying the Curious George manuscript with them. So yeah, around 1940. That's around the time people were still racist.
Oh yeah. Where were they from?
I mean, they were in Paris.
Yeah.
Around Nazi times too.
No, I mean,
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Because that's probably why they were trying to flee.
That's crazy. That took a dark turn.
Yeah.
My grandpa said I used to look like Curious George when I was a kid. Now I'm like, really?
Oh my god!
I'm triggered, that's it.
He's triggered. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Where was that one? The order has changed. It's Mandela Effect. Do you guys know the Queen song, We Are the Champions, or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know the song very well, but people say at the end of the song, it says, we are the champions, and then like there's a pause, and then of the world or whatever, and that's not at the end of the song either. Like the song just ends.
Like at the end of the song, or like throughout the song? Because like
No, just at the
Okay,
end.
just
Just
at
at
the
the
end.
end, because they do
Okay.
say it in the song apparently, but at the end they don't.
yeah, see, like I don't remember on that one. Like,
I specifically remember the pause. There's a brief pause.
Yeah, and then they say of the world.
Yeah, that's like how I think I'm like.
Should I one of these? And I can't play the whole song, so I'm just gonna fast forward. And nothing. What's the end of that? Doesn't that leave you wanting more? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed to say it.
So that's that. I feel like I'm ruining your lives. Well, not you, because you're from the other
Yeah,
timeline,
so
so
this
you're
is,
like
like,
on
normal
point.
me.
But you, Jer, I'm so sorry
Just lay
because
in bed and stare at the ceiling.
yes, you're gonna look at everything different
Yeah.
after tonight. Okay, let's see what else I
It's
can
gonna blow your
find.
mind so hard you're gonna go on the other dimension that just completely fucks up all timelines.
Okay, let's see.
The Monopoly Man monocle.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have one.
Whoa.
And he's never had a monocle or whatever they're called, like those little one-eyed glass things, you know?
There's a sticker at my work on the fridge, and homeboy's got a monocle for sure.
Go check it,
For
take
sure.
a picture of
I'm
it.
going right now.
Oh my god,
Yes,
you
wait
should.
here. I'm going
Yeah,
here.
we'll wait here. That's crazy. Seriously, check it and then tell me tomorrow or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I need to know. But yeah. Like, look, even the old one. This is like an old Monopoly game,
It just
and it's
doesn't
nothing.
look right.
And
No,
some
yeah, it
people
looks
say
right.
that it's like, there's, what is it, like the guy from the Nuts? Like the,
planners,
I
planners.
don't know, so
The
he
Planners
has a
peanut butter.
monocle. So
Yeah.
people are like, oh, maybe people are confusing it with him, but I feel like the rich tycoon type guy had a monocle.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Because like, why would the guy in a can of nuts have a monocle?
I mean, he
True.
does have it.
He's got the cane and the top
Really?
hat.
He does have it.
Makes it a prominent point to hold that son of a bitch up every time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Billy Graham's funeral on TV, people remember it happening before it did. I don't know that one. I was too young, I guess.
He's
But
Billy Graham.
he was some, like,
Just
preacher
died.
or something.
I think he just died like last year.
2016.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Alive and kicking as of September 2016. So I don't even know if he's dead yet. But people remember seeing his funeral broadcasted live on TV. Like, lots of people remember this one.
Yeah.
This one's crazy.
I specifically remember my mom saying, like, my great grandma loved Billy Graham, blah, 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 this and that,
Mhm.
like
Loved.
a couple months ago.
So he didn't die. So you think he died a few months ago. Maybe he hasn't. Because I think this was written July. Yeah, July of 2018. So this was just written. I don't know.
I don't even know who Billy Graham is, so maybe in my like reality he doesn't exist.
Maybe.
He's like a Satanist in my reality.
Oh my god. I
Right?
mean, it's possible they say there's endless dimensions.
The anti-Billy Graham.
Okay, so everybody, I don't remember this, it's before my time, but my sister got angry and she's like, no, I watched this happen at school. This was broadcasted live. So it's the Tiananmen Tank Boy.
Yeah.
So they had like protests or something, and this one guy went and stood in front of the tanks as like a protesting the war or whatever they were doing. And the whole world was shocked because this was being live broadcasted like in America, you know, and they ran him over. that was the whole thing. Everybody remembers him getting ran over, and my sister's like, it was horrible. People were crying. Like, she remembers it happening in school. Like, it was very traumatic, and it never happened. In this timeline, he was never ran over. The tanks actually stopped, and he actually ended up climbing them, and then people started rushing out because they were all excited that he stopped the tanks.
I feel like that's what happened.
But like she and so many other people are like it was broadcasted over TV. Like, it was super traumatic for everybody that he was ran over. And he wasn't. I don't know if he's still alive now, but he was not squished. Lucky him in this timeline.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Okay. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Did you guys watch that?
I kind of remember as a kid, like...
Okay. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, you know? But it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, which again doesn't roll off your tongue.
No.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
No
like,
way.
Right?
Yeah.
And I watched like clips of him too, and it's this neighborhood. Instead of in the neighborhood. They even went after Mr. Rogers.
I have a shirt in my room that says, "It's all good in the hood."
What does that have to do with anything right now?
Because wouldn't it say it's all good in this hood?
Oh, I guess. I mean, does it have a picture of him on it?
Yeah, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Wasn't he like a Green Beret or something like that? Like
That's the
Special
theory.
Forces? Like...
They also said
What?
that he was covered in, they said that he was with the Special Forces, and they said that he was covered in tattoos, and that's why he always wore a sweater.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I never heard that before. He was a badass.
Yeah.
He was a badass.
Okay, ready for some more?
Definitely.
Let's see what else. Anybody a Pokemon fan or whatever?
I used to play a lot, yeah.
Do you know Pikachu?
Yes.
Okay, what was his tail like?
Striped. It was yellow, and there was brown stripes on
Yeah, I
it.
thought it was striped too.
Oh, come on.
Okay, there's no black tip, so people remember him having a black tip or something on his tail.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on his tail
And there's no
apparently.
stripes?
Nothing.
Why has my entire life been a lie?
I know. I feel like this Mandela Effect is what really opened me up to like all the weird shit that I'm into. So
Yeah,
welcome to my
cool.
world. Come on over.
Thank you for bringing me in.
You're welcome. You're from that other timeline,
Yeah,
so
so
you don't
doesn't
count.
associate with me.
But look at all these pictures of him, and there's nothing on his tail.
This is ridiculous.
Oscar Mayer, I remember it being Meyer, like the song, right?
Yeah.
It's Mayer, which again doesn't roll off your
Mayer.
tongue.
Yeah, that's
So how
Oscar
did it even
Mayer.
work in the song? Yeah. Oh, the kitty's coming. Hi, do you want to snuggle us?
Freddy.
Come on, you.
He's not having that.
Come here.
I'm gonna take a little kitty break. I'm gonna touch this. Hi, come here. I want to hold you. Oh, you're fatter than I thought.
It's 13.
All right, honey.
He is upset.
It's fine.
Freddie, be nice.
Be nice. I love you. I just force love on cats. Tell me
Makes
if I go too far, but
Oh, that's
I'll
fine.
make him love me.
Yeah.
We're taking a kitty break. This is Freddie. Kruger?
Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. He's like, I don't like you
Yeah.
anymore. Look how he's looking at me.
Come here.
Panic at the Disco. Anybody listen to that or no?
I used to, I don't know, like a couple of them.
Let's see what they say. Oh, I know the song where they're like closing
yeah.
the goddamn door, but really they say closing a goddamn door.
I remember that.
I remember the
Yeah.
closing the goddamn door,
Yeah,
you know,
it's-
but it's not. It's closing
the goddamn door.
a
I don't
goddamn
know.
door.
That guy
It's
looks
for ruining
he
our
does
life.
Some shady shit.
I know. It puts the lotion on its skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does it put the lotion on the skin?
Nope.
It rubs the lotion on
It
the
rubs
skin.
the lotion on its skin. That's wrong. I've been using this joke forever with everybody I know. It puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again.
Yeah.
But it rubs the lotion on its skin.
Does it say the last part at least, the hose?
Let's see. It's a 4-minute video. I'm gonna go find my own.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
I love this guy.
You're right. I just like can't take it seriously.
rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Okay, so the more I hear it, the more I'm like, okay, but in my head, it puts the lotion on its skin.
Yeah.
But no, he's saying rubs.
Yeah.
Why are they changing everything? Stupid Switzerland. No offense to anybody. Okay. Let's see. Houdini's death. Anybody remember that? I don't.
Punched in the stomach, I thought, but
Let's see what it says.
Yeah, I
He
remember
died as a result of a freak incident where he was struck in the stomach as a strength test, but this burst his appendix, causing his demise a few days later. Some are saying they remember it differently, and instead he drowned during one of his stage acts.
That's what I heard.
I thought it was always the stomach thing, like he bet somebody to punch him, and then the guy ends up killing him on accident.
I bet it was in your timeline. I can't with this guy right here. Oh my god. It's like, I would say if it's like one or two things, like, okay, but it's every single one.
Yeah,
You
It's
are
weird.
you are not in your timeline, my friend. But we accept everybody, so we're still friends. We're new friends today, but we're friends now. Okay.
What about the Elvis die? He died on the toilet for sure.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah. I just had this, I talked about this the other day.
Oh, and they're not even saying about where he
Oh,
died.
okay.
If people remember drug overdose, but he had a heart attack. I remember heart attack.
I feel like it's kind of like hand in hand though.
Because he
you
was
know?
on the toilet and he had a heart attack. That's what I
Yeah.
remember.
Because like the drug overdose could cause a heart attack, which
He
kills you.
was on
so-
drugs, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, that brings us to the end of our Mandela Effect podcast. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Definitely stay tuned because we will do more of these episodes. And make sure to subscribe. And if you like this one, make sure to leave us a thumbs up. Thank you. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.